Obviously, very excited to announce the return of Orlando Antigua back to our staff, and you know, I call O the kind of the godfather of college basketball in terms of being an assistant coach. He's one of the great connectors of people, fabulous coach. As well, but a guy that has proven his worth in terms of what he's done recruiting at every stop along the way, and obviously his latest stop being at Kentucky, some of the top recruiting classes in the country. So excited to have him join the fold. He's a guy that obviously is very familiar with this place, had very good vibes about where this program was going and the direction it was going, and excited we've been able to continue to grow that, and that he felt like winning a national championship was and is within the realm here and is on the same mission as I am in terms of being able to do that. So a great friend, welcome him back, and excited to have his laughter, to have his mind, to have his connectivity with our players and our coaches. Just a wonderful guy on all fronts.
Since you know each other so well, he's been here, was there any pitch you had to make for him?
Sure. You know, I think the one thing that you know, it was a transition, obviously going on at Kentucky, and I think it was an opportunity that his familiarity. I think he had a lot of great friends in the Champaign-Urbana area while he was here, outside of basketball. I think that he felt very comfortable. We had to. You know, you bring up those things and the importance, but you know, I think it was the continued success of this program, the relationship that he and I have kept throughout, and you know, he's not just a colleague; he's a very good friend.
What qualities make Orlando such a successful recruiter?
Well, one, he works really hard, but you know, most importantly, he's got a magnetic personality. He's got a great sense of humor. He relates well with people of all ages, whether they're 18 or whether they're in the adult world dealing with young people. He's knowledgeable. His background, playing, his success with the Globetrotters, his success as a player has just allowed him worldwide to make connections, and that's invaluable. There's very few people in this business that have a network like he does.
You mentioned national championship. I know that's the goal, and Orlando wants that too. What about this move helps you get to that goal?
Yeah, I just think he's a guy that has the ability, like I said, to go worldwide. He's put together and strung together, and he did it here. Top recruiting classes, find great players, find players that fit. He and I have a great, you know, connectivity. I think he fits extremely well with Tim and Jeff. You know, and the job that those guys are doing. Those guys are not to be, you know, lost in this. They've done a tremendous job as well. So, you know, I think that you know, he's just got a worldwide network. He's got the ability to recruit high-quality players and connections to do that throughout the country and throughout the world. And when you're trying to win a national championship, you know, it's proven by UConn. You know, they're going to have 5 or 6 guys drafted this year. So you better have really good players, and that's the goal here. A lot. You know, it's, you know, I say this all the time. You know, to me, basketball is about winning, and it's about relationships. And when you have those two things, a lot of other really positive things come out of that. and winning's really, really hard. You got to have tremendous trust, tremendous loyalty, camaraderie, connectivity, all the adjectives you want to use, and to go through it once with him, and he was new to me and me to him, but to go through that now a second time and have the familiarity, have the comfort. He knows what I'm thinking. I know what he's thinking, and the personal side, the relationship means a great deal. He's believing not just in what I'm doing, but most importantly what the university and what this program is continuing to do and build on.
What did you see from him in Lexington that you're excited to bring back to Champaign this time around?
A lot of good players. I think that's stating the obvious. Obviously, Coach Calipari is in Kentucky have been at the forefront of alluring really, really good players to their university, and again, that's one of the reasons that Cal went after him. Is his ability to connect, his ability to recruit top-flight players, his ability to mold them and develop them. I have tremendous value in that. I say all the time we're a development program. I think the job that O did with Kofi, with Georgie, in developing those guys was remarkable. It goes beyond just the obvious, which is the recruiting piece. It also goes to the coaching and the development piece as well.
What can his impact be with Carey and Perez? Whoever else?
Yeah, no doubt. It's huge, and we're getting a couple young guys in Perez, and obviously Carey's played and got 30-plus games under his belt, but a guy who played that position, a guy who knows and understands the position and what it takes, and he's very knowledgeable. So I'm excited about those young guys being able to learn under his tutelage.
What role will he have in attracting guys out of the portal?
A lot. I mean, he is, as the portal is no doubt a prominent piece of everything that we're doing. We're not shying away from that. I love the pieces that Tim and Jeff have brought into this point, and as that portal continues to evolve from players not just going in here late, but around the world as well. I think there's a tremendous footprint that could be left by Orlando in terms of those areas. He'll be very dialed in as well.
How did this process begin, Brad? Did you contact him, or did he contact you and say, "Hey, I'm not going with Cal to Fayetteville"?
No, we've stayed in touch, and it was, and I asked him. I reached out. I was just to see what his interest level might be, and in terms of coming back and helping an old friend, from there it just kind of turned into a process, and it was very comforting for me to not hear a no or I'm good. It was very comforting to hey, let me go through this, and so we end up at this point, and couldn't be more thrilled for our players, our fans, our administration, his counterparts on the staff, because he is a guy that will touch everybody in every facet.
With Luke entering the portal, does that alter or add to what you're now looking for as you fill out the roster?
It's again, in a world where everything's very transactional, it's almost to be expected, and we've been recruiting guys at multiple positions throughout, and like I said, many times I know how to count to 13. We may get close, we may not fill them all, we'll see, but we do know that we have to identify a few things yet in terms of getting this thing right where I want to get it, but we're on a pretty good start at this point, I feel like.
How much is maybe on Ty to, you talk about being the keeper of the culture, because he'll have the most experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the culture's obviously, I'm the keeper of it. I've got to be able to pass that on and push that through. But obviously you've got guys that understand, and I think in today's world, you know, you get a couple guys. I always said that when I was a JUCO coach, you just get a couple guys, no matter where they're at in the program. You know, they have to understand what we're doing, understand the lingo. I think the summer becomes important, you know, in terms of the time and just establishing things. But I feel like we've been very forthcoming with the young people that we've signed in terms of what our culture is, what we're about, and then we'll continue to implement that as they start to arrive and move forward in building that.
What is the balance of that, of having some continuity, that know what you do, and upgrading talent, obviously?
Yeah, sometimes continuity can be, you know, you can have too much. You know, I think there's a certain excitement that comes with the newness. I think there's some level of comfort when you have guys back and you have guys that are comfortable. I was very comfortable, obviously, with Coleman and Terrence. I knew what we had in those guys. You know, on the other hand, there's just a tremendous sense of excitement, because I think the guys we've got and the guys I know we're going to get are really talented and can do some different things. So I'm excited to see how that all comes together.
Is high school recruiting still a big piece of the puzzle?
It will be, absolutely, absolutely. I think that there's, as we get away from the COVID year, the fifth-year guys, I think you'll start to see high school guys. They're going to become important for us. I don't know how important they'll be for everybody, but they're going to continue to become important for us. I think that you know, we need to add 2 or 3 every year to that mix, and keep developing those guys and have them go through it. But you know, I think that's an area that we've been pretty consistent with, is trying to add a couple of those guys every year.
What goes into the conversations with, like, Josh on, hey, I think I can bring O back. Do we have the resources for this? Like, can you help me out?
Well, I say this, and this is not to be cliche, but, you know, coaches win games, administrators win championships, and Josh has always been extremely supportive of my goals and ambitions to win a national championship here. And you know, when I approached him with the idea of Orlando coming back, you know, he's obviously at the top of his field, not only what he does, but you know, in his earning power, and he should be. And he's been a head coach, and Josh was fantastic in doing everything that we could do as a university to help accommodate that. And you know, for that I have, you know, tremendous respect, and it's why our program is truly where it's at, is because of Josh and the administrative support.
Do you feel like you have everything to compete for national championships now? Do you feel like you're at that space of?
I thought we'd been there for a couple of years. I think we proved that we could be that when we were a 1 seed. I think that we're playing on a national schedule. I think that TV loves us. I think that we're selling out every night. I think we're creating an atmosphere. I think our brand is exciting. I think when you've got a top offense, all those things play into it. You know, this continues to add to that, adding Orlando. You know, a guy that everybody, really around the world, but in the college, in the world of basketball, knows O. And so I think that that just continues to enhance our brand. And you know, the day that I don't think we're competitive enough to win a national championship will probably be my last, and I think we're a long way from that. Have heard nothing new, and we'll continue to say my prayers every night and hope that all that works out. You know, I think I've always kind of taken the approach when guys were in the draft, didn't know whether they were going to come back or not. You have to think worst case scenario, and that you're not going to have that person, and if you do, it's just kind of you know, the icing on the cake, so to speak. But there's been nothing new, and you know, we'll just continue to play that waiting game, and you know, as he continues to go through his processes for the next level.
What's the dialogue like with Coleman right now? Obviously, he's got some options on the
Sure.
table.
Yeah, again, it's no different than it was, you know, a year ago, and Coleman had a fantastic year. Fantastic year. You know, I think that I think from a mental side of things, I think Coleman has achieved a great deal, and I don't know how much more he can gain in the college game. Coleman is so smart, so high IQ, great feel, great understanding. I think that he's in a great place there. I think he shot the ball. I think he made major enhancements, and as he goes through his process, I think he'll be more aware of what that process is, and he'll succeed. And you know, for a guy who played you know, a little bit less than 100% this year because of that knee, just had a fabulous year. And you know, if he chooses to go, man, I'll be 100% on board with that because he had such a great year.
In terms of the high school recruiting, Brad, that you talked about, is there a thought process or philosophy that, hey, I might be recruiting this kid for 2 years down the road for when he's in the portal, maybe we'll go after him? Just create a file that way?
There's no doubt. We're not getting them all.
Right.
So I think the more that you reach out and touch and have some sort of relationship with, the better. And I think that you know, we try to never do it anyway, but try to never burn a bridge. We try to never you know, keep relationships open and with everybody. And again, it's the world we're living in, very transactional, and I think that that's still a relationship piece that you have to have, knowing that you recruited him, you brought him in, you know, and Quincy's the greatest example. I mean, you know, 3 times with Quincy, and you know, so Kylan, but again, it's something that touching high school kids, and a lot of them, can be very beneficial, knowing that you're obviously, you know, can't take them all, and you won't get them all.
In that same vein, with so many new faces that will have multiple years of eligibility, does it feel like you're building not only for this year or next year? You only think this year now in this new age?
Both. You know, I think that the one thing I'm excited about is this group of guys, even though they have multiple years, has experience. You know, you're not taking guys that haven't been on the floor at the highest levels. So it's encouraging. Obviously, your main focus is year to year, and it's got to continue to be that. I think that there's no reason to think too much beyond, but yet if you do, and you recruit good players and they stay, that again, it's just a bonus. But again, we're going to, especially with transfers. You know, I think high school kids, you would assume that maybe they're not one and done, but again, they can transfer. So it's year to year, but you do like the fact that we're a little bit younger and have that possibility.